our technology isn't Tekken, but this is how important this message is to you. That's how I know. That's how I know because when it takes a lot of effort to make something happen, that means it's good.
I know it means it's important. So
Mhm.
listen, guys, you'll see in just a moment what we're talking about. Morgan and I had problems on every single one of our platforms today. I am traveling, so I'm not using my normal equipment, but it is important that we get these episodes to you no matter what. And so, what in the hair is going on is going to happen regardless, but we're not going to be on the screen together. Please watch anyway. Don't think it's technical difficulty. It was on our side, but you're going to get the same info. You're just not going to see us together, which is very sad to me because it was so good.
So
But
good.
we want to make sure we get the information to you regardless. We want to make sure you tap along with us. We want to make sure that you do some introspection and just listen and just listen. Okay. Like don't mind the fact that we're talking to each other, but we're not on the same screen. Deal?
Deal.
Deal. All right. Peace, y'all.
You guys. Bye.
Good morning, Morgan. How are you?
I'm okay, but I'm not okay. I'm really not. Do you know why? Because of this. This. Like like
I know, I know. And listen, don't worry because we're going to talk about it. If any of you are out there this Monday morning, you're like, it's a bad hair day. All right. You could also be in the middle of a bad hair decade because midlife sometimes do that. Okay. It does that. Listen, I'm Chatone Morrison. I'm the princess of positivity. I believe that you can release your negativity so your positive can reign. I mean, soar in your brain, in your business, in your bigger, beautiful life. And this is my co-host. I'm gonna let her just talk for herself.
Hey, sweetheart, I am Morgan Bustos. Welcome to Getting to After.
Welcome, y'all. Thanks for being with us. Listen, our entire goal for being here is to help you get to after. And people have asked us, like, what does that mean? It really has to do with the fact that in midlife, if you call yourself a midlife mom, we're talking about you getting right into the cusp of 40 and up, some things start to happen. It's funny how the world centers around our toddlers, right? Our babies. What to do what before pre-K, before they go to school, and then our high schoolers, tweens, college age, 20 somethings, and then something happens.
Called Midlife. Midlife.
And all of a sudden, it's like all the information tanks, or the only thing you hear about is perimenopause, and then all these terrible negative things. All right, so listen, we're going to talk about a little something, something that's not the most positive necessarily, but I guarantee you, if you're in a 40 something life, you're dealing with this. And so this episode is called What in the Hair is Going On? Because the hair does a thing. It
Hmm.
does a thing. Morgan, let me ask you a question. I don't know. I know you're a little younger than me, right? But do you remember these commercials like Suave? You know what I mean? Pert. I don't know if you remember Pert. There was a shampoo, and this big bouncing and behaving. You know what?
My hair never did that unless, like, I would literally put my hair in a ponytail so that, and I would go like that so that my hair would bounce from side to side to side because I wanted it to be like a Pantene Pro V commercial, but it
Right.
just,
Oh yeah, Pantene, Pro V. Yeah, I forget you're a true millennial. The thing about it is that that's like a big part of being young, being beautiful, is this hair thing. And the truth is in midlife, even if your health is doing great, you may be going through peri and it's going fantastic. You may be doing all the things and it's working. Something happens to the hair
yeah, everywhere. It just changes overnight. We ain't even going there.
overnight. You
But
don't go there. Don't go.
yeah, it
It just
completely
changes. It changes. It changes. I took some
it
notes down on this because one of the things that I was doing when I was researching for this episode, I don't know about you, my things that have happened to me in the past couple of years are hair thinning. Of course, as a Black woman, a lot of times we're really concerned with our edges. I am not a person who has snatched my edges off with weaves or wigs or things like that. They just decided we don't want to be there anymore. We done, right? And then also big eyebrow issues. And I know you and I both have eyebrow issues. Of course, I look really cute. That's because I know my way around an eyebrow pencil. Um, but these are some of the things that I face. What about you?
No, it's the same thing. So, like, because of I'm definitely losing like my edges. Like it's receding back farther and further. But you know what I realized over the last couple of years? Like when my stress level is through the roof, my hairline, I
Mhm.
lose a lot of my hair. But then when I start evening out, between my stress
Comes
level,
back in.
yeah, it like starts filling in. And Sequoia will come up and she'll be like, "Oh, look at your little baby hairs," and she'll play with my hair. So that has a big impact. And then my eyebrows, they don't exist. I mean, that's why I have to draw them on.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. When did that start happening for you with your brows?
um, so that was actually like 15 years ago. I started having issues with my brows coming back in. And then my hair, like especially back here, like this whole side of my head, you can even see like there's so much more hair
Yeah.
on the than
Fuller. Yeah.
going bald like back here. And then it's thinned out like so much. So like even right here, you can see how much it's gone back
Yeah.
this side.
Yeah.
So it's just completely changed, dude. Completely.
Yeah. It's interesting because, as a Black woman, there are times where I would go get braids. Like when I first started getting braids, when I went natural, stopped getting relaxers several years ago. It's been over 10 years. And I went to get my first set of braids. And I've always been extremely careful about my hair because I was just a hair girl. Like as a youngster, when my mom would let me get my hair done at the salon. But other than that, it was like every week I was extremely strategic. I am not afraid to admit that I really wanted to be Charlene from Different Strokes, Janet Jackson back in the day with Willis. And she would go, Willis, like I wanted my hair to do that so bad in like fifth or seventh grade, whatever it was. And my hair was like, no. Mm-mm. So then my mom started letting me get a relaxer. Then it did that. I mean, it bounced. My hair was so thick and so long. People can't believe literally down my back and so thick I would break a rubber band.
Oh,
Just
right.
hugely thick, crazy hair.
Yeah. That's like
It's
so
gone.
girl, I remember when I was 15, my hair, my pony would be like
Yeah.
this.
Like
Now
your
I
daughters.
Yeah, like sequoias, like, I'd have to, like, stretch it to get
Yeah.
around
You had to get a carpal tunnel to get that. Yeah.
but
It's
now yeah,
yeah.
but, like, now, I mean, barely, like, I put it together and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, it's so embarrassing," and it's almost scary because I'm like, "Where is my hair going?" And then I get nervous because 'cause I'm like, I feel it, like, losing it in different parts of my
Yeah.
head and thinner,
Yeah.
so the anxiety of, like, going bald, and I'm like, "I'm only 43, so, like, if this is happening to me now,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen
I
in, like."
know. Well, let's just stay in the moment, right? Because we don't want to future project, right? We don't know. We don't know. I know that, there's so many hormonal changes that women go through. I can remember when I was pregnant and my hair was so super thick when I was pregnant. And then of course, as soon as you have the baby, it's like not only are you losing milk, okay, you're losing hair, like everything is happening. And then it kind of grows back in. But obviously, I had my children later. You had your children earlier in life, mine were later. And so here I was pregnant, my first baby, 35. So I was already probably edging into, no, my second baby at 35, but I was already edging into maybe perimenopause by the time I had my second child. And so then I'm throwing all these hormonal changes. And then a couple years later, having to get the hysterectomy, like really, really throwing all these things. And I think that for those of you, shout out to our replay audience and also those who are watching us when we do the premiere, like, this is something that most likely that you're dealing with. Every one of our clients, it's not something that we're not hair specialists or anything like that, but this is something that causes stress, anxiety. It's not the anxiety that's top of mind, but when you're getting dressed in the morning or when you're doing your hair in the morning, it's something that you think about.
Oh, absolutely, because it's our crown of glory, right? This is where your confidence comes from, is your hair and your face and you know what I mean? It's tied into, well, let me speak for my self-esteem. And so it's really
Yeah,
not knowing what to do with my hair or for such a long time because of being mixed, having so many different nationalities, like because my hair is super curly, right? But then I press it. So the products that I can use in my hair when it's curly are completely different than when I'm straightening it.
yeah,
Even remember a couple months ago, I called you and I was crying and I was like, "Mom, I found something for my hair." And it was like a whole thing.
yeah.
I was
It's a
crying
thing.
like crocodile tears because I was like, "It actually works." My hair is
Yeah.
absorbed oil. It was like grapeseed oil and something else.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. And then that's when you told me about the hair porosity.
Porosity. Yes.
What
How I had to think for a second. What is she talking about? Yeah, the
She does.
privacy. So, so those are, and you know what I think is that if you know, and I'm an advocate of going to see a professional, not just someone who can style hair, a professional, so that you can see, even if you can only afford it once a year, it's not something you have to throw money at every 4 to 6 weeks. Getting a professional to look at your hair at least once a year, to me, it is a big indication of what's going on inside your body because hair is not necessary. The body's like, oh, we don't need hair, we don't need nails. And so when you see your nails starting to act out and you see your hair starting to act out, it is your body's way of telling you there's maybe some other things you need to look at.
Mm.
And maybe some other things going on that is telling you a little message.
Yeah, that's a really good point because I noticed also now that you said that, like going back to when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, my hair, I was going bald. Like I was
Yeah,
constantly bobs of hair. It was just like I would brush my hair and I'd be like, oh my goodness, or I'd take a shower and there would be so much at the bottom of the shower and it's scary. It was so
it's very
scary.
scary.
So being able to know that
Well,
like
I want to tell you something. I'm so glad you said that because um, this is the real deal. Like we don't come up with this stuff because it's fun. We come up with this stuff because it's the real deal. So I actually wrote something and it's called the mirror moment. And if you haven't ever had a mirror moment before, I'm pretty sure all of our listeners have had one of these before. And you either can have it with your body because a lot of things are changing, right? Today we're just talking about hair falling out, but lots of things start falling. Okay. We're not going to go into all of that today. All right. Things tend to fall in midlife. It's like gravity. It's like it's coming for you. But I wrote something called the mirror moment, and I'm going to read this. And I just want you to, we like to do things. We're all about EFT and about emotions, but sometimes you do need to get into your own mind about things so that you know how you're feeling. And sometimes, if no one's there to listen to you, or you feel like it's too unimportant to talk about, then you can get stuck in those feelings. And we don't believe in that. So I wrote a little short story, and I'm going to read this real quick. It's called The Mirror Moment. You may find yourself in this, you may not, but listen up. Tanya stood in front of the mirror, her hairbrush frozen midair. It wasn't the first time she noticed the thinning patches near her temples, but today the morning light seemed to amplify every strand she had lost. The bathroom counter held silent witnesses to her daily battle: volumizing shampoos, scalp serums, and the expensive hair oil her friends swore by. None of them seemed to be working. She sighed and ran her hands through her hair, gingerly, as if any extra pressure might send more strands spiraling into the sink. Her hair had always been her thing. It framed her face, softened her edges. Now it felt like a betrayal. The door creaked open, and her teenage daughter peeked in. Mom, do you have my curling iron? She asked, her own thick, shiny, bouncing hair as she walked in. Tanya forced a smile, handing over the tool. As her daughter turned to leave, she paused, looking back. Mom, I think your hair looks kind of cool pulled back like that. Like, strong. She shrugged, disappearing down the hall. Tanya stared at her reflection again. Strong. It wasn't how she would have described herself lately, but maybe it was a start. She grabbed a scarf from the drawer, something bright and bold, and tied it around her head. The thinning spots didn't disappear, but for the first time in weeks, she didn't feel the urge to hide. Strong. That'll do for today.
your words are
Sound
so powerful. So powerful and meaningful because I'm right there with you looking in the mirror as you're saying all that, seeing everything that's on my countertop, seeing all my
yeah,
hair literally that I just wiped out of the sink this morning. And I was like, how
yeah.
is my hair breaking this much again? You know?
I wrote that because I think that it's important. And I actually wrote two because I know people will come for me because I'm like, well, bouncing hair, black women don't have bouncing hair. So I got one for y'all later. I wrote two. I got two because I don't want anybody to come for me. I don't want the girls of color to come for me. But the truth of the matter is we have all different cultures of women that follow us. So I want to make sure that we leave space for everyone. So I'll read that one later. So the thing is what the hair is going on, right? And we all have that. It's interesting as you're younger, like say for example, you go on a trip. Now, although the newest generation sometime now is like they into their products, okay, they're into their products more than they've ever been. But I would say a generation ago, or even 10 years ago, you're going on a trip, you're like, oh, the hotel's gonna have the shampoo in the shower, and you're excited about that, right? No one is trying to use a shampoo in a shower these days. You gotta,
Mm.
you got another suitcase. You gotta try and figure out, or you may be like me, before a trip, you're running over to CVS or Walmart to get all the containers because you got to bring your product and you can't bring the big one because then they're gonna take it away from you at the airport.
So true. And then learning what works with our hair and what doesn't work with our hair. It's you don't you once you finally figure out what it is, you don't want to stray away from it because then that
Yeah,
messes you up psychologically because then you're going to do your hair and then it doesn't turn out right. So then your whole day just kind of goes down the drain. So it's like, why am I going to set myself up
yeah,
to fail?
yeah. So since you've noticed issues with yourself, like what have you tried to do? Or even before I ask that, I think just for our audience to know, like, let's be really real. Like, what kind of feelings have you had? And I'm going to share as well, um, because it has been very emotional for me.
Mm. It just disgusting. I feel disgusting and ugly and just yucky. Those are the words that come to my immediately to my mind. Um, because of growing up and having because my mother's Caucasian, right? And
Right.
so it was she didn't know what to do with our hair. And so because of
Mhm.
that, it just wasn't kept the right way because she didn't have the
Yeah.
knowledge to do so, right? So I have like major issues around my hair as it is because we grew up in a completely Caucasian community where we lived in Colorado.
And
And
so
so
nobody got it.
nobody understood. So one, my mom didn't have anybody to talk to about our hair, to know what to do with our hair. And then the environment we lived in and the community we lived in, there was nowhere to go to for hair of ex for
Or products, I'm sure.
I mean, like for products for my hair. She had no clue what to do.
Yeah.
So from a very young age, I wasn't enough. I didn't fit in. I didn't look right. I didn't feel right. They always made fun of me. They would call me Medusa. You know what I mean? Because I had
Are
curly
you serious?
they were evil. Like, and that's a whole nother I need to tap on that, let me just tell you what, because it was so bad because there's all these little girls with blonde hair and blue eyes and these tiny
Yeah.
little bodies, and I'm thick, and I have hips and a behind, and I have curly hair, and I look nothing like anybody around me. So then growing
And
up
beautiful. And beautiful. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I know this is your story. And beautiful. That's what they didn't like. Okay.
and so then growing up, I associated my value and my worth with my hair for like a
Wow.
long even now, currently now that
Wow. Wow.
so like not that's also why I go to the nth degree of making sure I'm extremely well kept is because as a little
Yeah.
girl it wasn't that way so much. And so I take a lot of pride in it. I take a lot of pride in making sure that my kids especially, oh good gracious, like are
They always
always,
look amazing.
you know. So that's one of the things that I've struggled with a lot
Yeah.
when it doesn't turn out the
It's
right.
funny because you're
Yeah.
like,
Yes, exactly, dude.
it's funny because my story is a little bit different. I did also grow up in a completely Caucasian area, but my worship life was full of all people that look like me. So yeah, there was never an issue about, I did go through that whole Whoopi Goldberg moment, put a towel on my head. You want it. You want to have the long flowing hair. Um, and it's interesting growing up through the ages now and realizing that, you can have whatever hair you want. You can get it weaved. You can get it, you can get it braided up. I mean, you can get whatever you want, wear wigs, whatever. I've done all of them. I actually never have had a weave, but I wear wigs. Whatever I want. I mean, even here I'm traveling right now, seeing my mom, and I have a ponytail in my back, like whatever I might need, I might decide to go get it blown out, then I'm gonna wear that long ponytail. And I don't have an issue with that. The thing for me is the changes that I know have to do with illness, midlife, growing older, and having zero control. So I'm a person who does like to be in control of my health as much as possible. You know that. Um, Down to the fact that uh, the foods that I eat, the movement that I do, the modalities of wellness. Obviously, EFT is one of the big ones, but I do lots of things, right? The oils, all those things. and the vitamins, the nutrients, the omega-3s, the fatty acids, all the things that I do, but also the biotin tablets, the hair, skin, nails pills, like all that stuff. And I was doing all of that, and my hair was still falling out. It was still getting thin. So then you go to the wrong person and they blame you, right? They gaslight you to death. Well, it's because you've been wearing that ponytail. That's why it's getting thin. It is? You snatch your hair back. Am I? Because I'm not a person who always, well, it's because you're doing your edges. Do I? Because I don't even have gel in my house. Like, what? Oh, it's because of this. It's because of that. So it's because you had a perm too long. Is that why? Okay, so I stopped getting a perm, hair still fell out. What's the reason now? When I first stopped getting my hair relaxed, when I first decided to get braids, I wanted braids for years. I wouldn't do it because a black person, let me tell you something, our hair is finicky, okay? You go get that hair, if your hair is relaxed and you put those braids in, you will often lose hair, especially on who's braiding it. So I wait till I'm natural. I wait till most of my permed hair is gone. I go to get the hair braided. The hair braided was so tight to where my eye was, when I tell you, they were like, "What country are you from?" Because my it was so tight. They're like, you I won't even go into it. It was tight. My hairline at that point, this was about 2013, 2012, 2013. My hairline at that point was so low that it almost met my eyebrows, which were huge at that time. On top of the fact that I had hair down to here, my sideburns were so long at that time that the woman put a braid on my face. I promise you, I couldn't put my glasses on. Why would you put a braid all the way over here in front of my ear? You have hair there. I do, and I'd like to keep it. So, I mean, like, it was an ordeal. But and of course, for me, I was like, well, I don't care how good it looks now. I'm taking all those tight braids I took out, but some of my hair came out with that, and some of that hair never came back. And then as my thyroid started to get crazy, um, I'm like, "Oh, I'm losing my brows." Like, my eyebrows were the thickest of the thick, and I've talked about that here before, and so for many of our listeners, sometimes these things are happening, and you think it's just something you did, something you ate, some exercise you didn't do. We have a tendency to blame ourselves. That's why I said, "What in the hair is going on?" Because sometimes you need to look and see what's going on, and instead of blaming yourself, gaslighting yourself, being mean, being your worst enemy, go to the doctor and find out what's happening because it could be something else.
That is such a good point to go to the doctor because it is important what you are putting into your body. Like your nutrition, that's one thing, like going to my nutritionist, she helped me a lot to realize, okay, Morgan, you need to eat a lot cleaner. Like you need raw food. You
Mhm,
need a lot of raw
mhm.
food.
Yeah,
And I needed a lot more protein and fats because my
yeah,
body, it was I have such a high metabolism, but and I wasn't giving myself enough, right? So
right.
when I changed my eating habits, that helped a little bit. But then that's when I found out that I had issues with my thyroid also, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So they gave me like a cream to put on because of my
Mhm,
fibromyalgia. I don't absorb the nutrients that I need to anyways.
mhm.
So it's even when I take like vitamins and things like that, my body it kind
They're
of just
not
goes,
going.
yeah. So we found out that a cream worked better for me for my thyroid issues than vitamins and things like
Good.
that. So
Vitamin,
it's
right.
having a conversation, um, and being honest. Being honest when you go to the
Yeah,
doctor. Usually a lot of times we'll go and we're like, "Oh, no, I'm okay," da 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 da, because we wanna feel good and, like, check those boxes.
yeah, yeah,
So the time where you say, "I'm struggling with this, and this. How like, what do I do? How can you help me?"
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's just knowledge. Like, once you have that knowledge, you can implement it, and then you can help other people. So then when you're in a
yeah.
conversation in a car group or wherever,
You
you can
share.
knowledge is power.
Yeah,
Knowledge.
yeah. And I think that that's the thing. I mean, that's why we're here as well. And, there are people that'll say, well, it's a crown of glory. And other people say it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, whether you feel it's the most important thing or you feel like it's unimportant, at the end of the day, I really believe that whether it makes you feel better or not, because some people are like, I don't care, I could cut it off, I could have it or not. But if your hair in midlife is giving you a message and you're ignoring the message, you need to
Mhm.
start listening in.
Right.
Also, if it's making you feel a certain way and you're ignoring that, you need to pay attention to that also. Maybe a doctor can't grow your hair back, but maybe a different type of modality of wellness can help you cope with how you're feeling. We spend so much time not giving ourselves permission. to feel sad, to feel bad over something we think that's frivolous. Well, who said it's frivolous?
Yeah.
Who said it's not important? Who said that Tanya, who was sad, and her daughter came in and gave her the word strong and it changed her entire day? What if she were using that word strong as an affirmation during the day when she was doing her hair? What might
Mm.
happen? My book Fat and Happy, um, there's a part in there where I talk about having bra and panty time, and it's so that you can embrace whatever changes are going on your body or whatever body that you have. And I'm not talking about big, little. I don't use the F word, but fat or thin. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the body that you're in because women have issues with their body no matter what it is. Last week we talked about softening the belly. That is such a big problem for people. So it doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter the length or the thickness. It's how you feel about it, how you're processing it, what your body is telling you. Are you giving yourself permission to feel however you feel? That's what we're about. That's what getting the after is all about. We mean I can't grow your hair back, okay? I'm not gonna promise that. But can we make
It's
you feel better about it? Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Yes, we can help you make you feel better. Even when I was going to see my therapist, it was interesting because once I worked through like this section, a really, really deep section of my trauma, within, I noticed like my doctor, my therapist, Dr. Wanda looked at me. She's like, "What are you doing different with your hair?" And I said,
Mm.
"Nothing." She goes, "No." She's like, "Honey," she's like, "Your hair is," she's like, "the texture's changed." And I started looking at it and I started looking back
From
at
the
the
insides, from the inside. Wow.
healing and getting all the toxins out psychologically from, on a cellular level. And because of that, it was affecting my hair. My hair wasn't as crunchy. It wasn't as
Yeah.
crisp. It wasn't like it wasn't like that. It was like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
gross.
Smoother. Smoother. Yeah.
Craziest thing ever.
We don't realize, again, the hair and the nails. So my mom. My mom's here. She's almost 88 years old. So 87. Shout out to you, mom. And she's very sick. I mean, she's got a lot of illnesses, but my goodness, is she not a chia pet? You should see her nails. I'm like, Mom, what is going on? Why are your nails out to here? Why are mine press on nails and yours are sitting out to here? We got to break them with a knife, okay? What in the world? Why is her hair the biggest fro you'll see, the most gorgeous hair? Now, a lot of her body's got a lot of issues, but because my mother has been so organic and so on her supplement game, I think she'd live forever if it weren't for some of these really hard hitting issues she has. The hair and the nails are the first thing to go. Not my mama. Not my mama. She been on that supplement game and on that organic game. When people didn't know what it was, mama been on that, which teaches us start earlier. Don't wait until you see hair thinning. Don't wait until you start seeing a bowl full of hair loss. Start
Mhm.
earlier. Sleep more. I'm working on that. My goodness.
That's such a
Hydrate
smart.
more, not juice. Not
You know,
coffee, not tea, like water, like water. I'm not picking on you. I'm picking on all of us. I had a big old cup today. Wait a minute. I had two of these today.
but you know
Coffee,
what?
baby.
I do. I have, you know what it is? I have one cup of coffee that I sip on throughout the day. So it looks like I'm drinking a lot, but it's the same cup all day,
Morgan.
all day.
I've spent time with you, Morgan.
Maybe too. No,
Yeah, Morgan. Morgan, we've shared a house, Morgan, on more than one occasion. That cup that you have there is not the travel cup. Now, let's be so for real. My hand, it'll go off the camera. I love you, but let's be so for real.
okay. So since I've seen you last, I have made a lot of
Okay,
improvements.
good.
How about that?
Okay.
Okay. So even to the extent of I remembered like one of my naturopaths, Jill, she was like, Morgan, she's like, where's your coconut water intake? And I
Yeah.
forgot. So I have supplemented that in. And let me tell you what, just this last week that I've been doing that,
Oh,
it
I
has,
don't like it. Oh gosh, I
oh,
don't like
it
it.
depends on which ones you get. It depends on which one you get. I found this really, really good one. It's called Zyco Natural, right? And it doesn't have
Do me
any
a favor and make sure you let me know what it is, and we'll put it in the description box below. Because if anyone's like me and is like coconut water, gag me with a spoon. Okay, like I cannot. Let us know which one is good that you love.
absolutely, I totally will because of the fact that so many of them have added sugars and all this added stuff. And
That's no good.
you're like, it's coconut water. Oh, it's just coconut water. No, dude, flip it over and see, look at the
And see
ingredients.
what's in there.
Is there
Then
added
you
sugar?
just negated all the benefits. You've negated the benefits. Okay.
I noticed that
All
my
right, so
body.
thank you. I'm so excited that you gave me a tip because when I was in the DR last month, um, two of the people in the house were drinking coconut water, and I was like, y'all, shout out to y'all. I'm not doing it.
Even if you just drink one a day, just or one every couple of days, I promise you, your body will feel completely different. I promise. I promise. I will give my stamp of approval. Boom. Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, our whole goal today is we want you to think about all the ways that this thing that really is not going to stop your day, this idea of a bad hair day, or as I said, a bad hair decade, it can be that way where it's affecting how you feel about yourself. The thing about the hair is it starts in the morning. So is it affecting how you deal with your children? You have a bad
Mhm.
hair day, you're in the bathroom, and then you're snapping at your kids on the way to, dropping them off. And you don't even know why. It's on a subconscious level that actually in the bathroom you saw all that loss. And what does that trigger you to? Does it trigger you to some other loss? Is it triggering to the first time you saw the gray hair? For me, um, I started going gray when I was 17 years old. That was cray cray. And how I knew it was related to stress was because some would be gray, and then as it grew back, it would grow back in black. So I'd have black hair here, but on my ends I'd have gray. That's what Caitlin has. Here she is, 22 years old. We go gray early, which is why I color a lot. I am not ashamed. I color my hair black. I sure do. Darn skippy, and I like it. Right? I've got a lot of feedback about that. It must be you don't want to age. Well, listen, the alternative to aging, I don't mind aging because the alternative is not being here. I'm okay with aging. All right. But I don't really like gray hair on my particular head. Maybe eventually I will, but for right now, I like black. So what? It's a so what thing. I also don't like gray lashes because
Mm.
3 or 4 gray lashes and they're popping the rest black. Now I look crazy. So I don't want that. So I use lots of mascara. So what? Right? Embracing what you love about yourself and the things that aren't going your way, figuring out little workarounds around them and or seeing what they're telling you, it's very powerful. And the first steps to getting to after are acknowledging and permission.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but a couple episodes ago, I was talking about like on my really, really bad days when I feel like horrible physically, I always make sure I do my hair and makeup because I already
Yes.
feel bad physically. So then if I look bad at it also physically when I'm walking by a mirror, subconsciously, it really, really messes me up and it just makes me spiral out of control. So at least if
Yeah.
I'm aesthetically looking
Yeah.
horrible, you know what I mean? Then it makes my day a lot better. So even trying
Yeah.
that once or twice. See
Yeah.
if
It matters. It matters a lot.
Mhm.
All right, listen, guys, what I would love to do is we're going to do a little tapping. We're going to do a little tapping. Um, this particular tapping is going to be about hair, but it's also going to be about the deeper parts of what happens about our feelings and how we can release some of those negative feelings, right? The whole idea, again, of emotional freedom technique is making sure that um, not having these negative things have a hold on you, but also acknowledging them. So we're always going to be giving you permission and telling you we can't give you permission, but asking you to give yourself permission to feel how you feel and also be willing to release it as well. Because it's not just once you start feeling and give yourself permission and to stay stuck there. That's no good, right? It's about being able to move forward through it as well. So that's what we want to be able to do. So, Morgan, let's just jump into some tapping.
All right, honey, are you ready? Energy flowing through all of hands real quick. Okay. Okay. And just take a deep breath real quick. And then we're going to start with the karate chop. So we're going to tap on the side of our hand and repeat after me. Even though I feel stressed, frustrated, and sad
Even though I feel frustrated and sad
about the changes in my hair,
about the changes in my hair,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and respect myself.
Even though I feel like my hair is out of control
Even though I feel that my hair is out of control
and I don't even recognize it anymore,
and I don't even recognize it anymore,
I choose to let go of the stress that it brings me.
I choose to let go of the stress that it brings me.
Even though my hair struggles make me feel less confident,
Even though my hair struggles make me feel less confident,
I honor my feelings and know I am so much more than my hair.
I honor my feelings and know that I am so much more than my hair.
Beautiful. So now we're going to go to the eyebrow. Okay. This frustration with my hair,
This frustration with my hair,
the thinning, the falling, the breakage,
the thinning, the falling, the breakage.
under eye. Why can't my hair just cooperate?
Why can't my hair just cooperate?
Under the nose. This sadness about how my hair has changed.
This sadness about how my hair has changed.
Chin. Feeling like I'm losing a part of myself.
Feeling like I'm losing a part of myself.
Collarbone. All this stress and worry I'm holding on to.
All this stress and worry I'm holding on to.
Underarm. Feeling like my hair defines me.
Feeling like my hair defines me.
Top of head. I choose to release this frustration and see myself whole.
I choose to release this frustration and see myself whole.
Eyebrow. I am more than my hair.
I am more than my hair.
Side of eye. My beauty and worth come from within.
My beauty and worth come from within.
Under the eye. I honor my body for all it does, including my hair.
I honor my body for all it does, including my hair.
Under the nose. I choose to focus on what I can do to support my hair.
I choose to focus on what I can do to support my hair.
Chin. I am open to new possibilities for hair health.
I am open to new possibilities for hair health.
Collarbone. I release the pressure to look a certain way.
I release the pressure to look a certain way.
Under the arm. I feel confident in my unique beauty.
I feel confident in my unique beauty.
Top of head. I am strong, radiant, and complete, just as I am.
I am strong, radiant, and complete, just as I am.
Karate chop point. And now we're going to do an affirmation to close with, okay?
Okay.
I release the emotional weight of my hair struggles
I release the emotional weight of my hair struggles
and embrace my confidence no matter what.
and embrace my confidence no matter what.
There we go. Let's take a deep breath and let it out. Let's take another one in and let it
Oh, that was great.
out. So
Oh my
lovely.
goodness. I hope our audience decided to pop in and do this with us because it was so good. You see how you see the difference? You're like all in it. You're like, it's good. Isn't that
Yeah.
strange though? But the thing is, that's literally it's it's deeper than what we think it is. Tapping is that powerful that you're like cap off, hands in my hair, feeling a certain way. It's just it's the way that it works. It's the way that it works. In a future episode, it might be next week, we are going to talk more about each, well, maybe in 2 weeks, the different meridian points that we're working on when we're working through EFT, when we're working on tapping, what it connects to in your body, but also what it works on emotionally. Because I know you see us doing these points, and Morgan just did this awesome job of leading us through this. But each one means something. We didn't randomly just be like, we're not. It's not random, okay? It really is. It's real, and that's why it works. That's why it works.
Well, they're all connected to the different organs in your body. And we know that they're
Exactly.
different organs, your liver and kidneys, that flushes things out. So when you're pressing on those points, it helps you to release the toxins that were attached to what you just tapped on. It's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so,
Why are you trying to give away the secrets that we're going to give in 2 weeks?
oh, girl,
Only teasing. I'm thrilled. I'll let you lead that episode because you probably know more than I do. Um, so listen, I am going to go ahead real quick and read this other story because I want to make sure I don't want to leave it out. I think it's important that we know this is definitely a multicultural experience that we're having here, and this is one of these things where it's all women. Doesn't matter. Like all of us are experiencing some of this from time to time. And so let me go ahead and pull this up right quick. Here we go. All right. So you'll notice little name changes, little changes, but I think it's important. So this is from a woman of color's perspective. And don't come for me. Don't judge me. All right. It's a short story. Okay. All right. Latasha stood in front of the mirror, her fingers pausing mid braid. The edges of her hairline told a story she didn't want to hear, a story of stress, time, and years of tight braids, weaves, and chemical relaxers. Her once thick coils, the crown her grandmother used to call her glory, had thinned so much that her scalp peeked through in places she couldn't ignore anymore. She sighed, looking at the products lined up on the bathroom shelf: edge control, castor oil, silk scarves, all promising a return to the fullness she missed. Every YouTube video she watched told her to be patient, but patience felt hard when her identity was so closely tied to her hair. From the hallway, her 12-year-old niece, Myra, popped her head in. Auntie Tasha, can you help me with my twist out? Mama said you're the pro. Myra's voice was bright, full of life, and completely unaware of Latasha's quiet battle. Yeah, baby, give me a minute, Latasha said, managing a smile. Myra leaned against the door frame, watching her aunt fuss with her hair. I like how you tied it up today, suddenly pointing at the colorful scarf Tasha had used to cover her edges. It makes you look like one of those queens in the pictures Grandma has on her wall. Latasha laughed softly. Queens, huh? She said, tying the scarf tighter. She looked at her reflection again. For the first time, she didn't see the thinning hair. She saw herself, tired, but still standing. She thought of her mother and grandmother, how they wore their scarves with pride and let their beauty shine through no matter what. All right, she said, turning to Myra, let's get that twist out looking right. You've got your own crown to wear. As she started working on her niece's hair, Latasha felt a flicker of something new. Her hair wasn't the same, but it didn't define her strength. Her glory was still hers. It had just shifted like the rest of her life, and it was okay. Why we gotta cry every week? I don't know why we gotta cry in here every week.
Emotional. Okay, welcome to your 40s.
Both of us. And I wrote it.
But it's deep because it's so true. That hit my soul so hard because it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. And so we all have our struggles. We all have some place in our life when we need to get to after. Some of them are much bigger. We talk about abuse here. We talk about body image and body confidence. We talk about how we eat. We talk about decluttering our homes, and we talk about how we deal with our children, our jobs, the decisions we make. But even something what seems like it's unimportant, like our hair, can trigger our day so hard that a couple of rounds of EFT would just do wonders for you. So we do want to invite you to keep showing up here with us and getting to after. Morgan and I are going to continue to bring you topics that we know are going to be ones that are great for you. And we also want to invite you to work with us. You can email us at tapping@gettingtoafter.com. You can download our workbook that's all about limiting beliefs. And one of those limiting beliefs may be your appearance or your hair. And you can get that at bit.ly/G2A LB1, all capitals. And a new one is coming out soon. So I'm going to be excited to share that with you as well. But we're thankful that you're here. We come out here no cost to you because it's important for you to have a safe place to land as your week starts, not just after it's over, as it starts. So that's what we've got for you. Thank you for popping in today. Thank you, Morgan, for always being the most amazing co host ever.
I love it. It's so easy when I get to work next to you. So can't wait till next week. We love you guys.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.